part of it. I think that's definitely part of it. But I think that the competition aspect is very much alive and well, because it is that idea that there's a lot less guys than girls, and in order to get a boyfriend, you know, a woman has to stand out from the pack because men have a lot of choices, I guess. So I think that that definitely plays into it. And like, I've asked women on this campus, if you're walking to class and you see a woman walking towards you and you don't know this girl, she's just walking towards you, it's the two of you, what are you instantly thinking about her? And the answer is always sizing her up. Is she prettier, thinner? Does she have bigger boobs than me? Like, all these things. Like, these are the things that are going through our minds. We're trained to do that. Women are really trained to do that, to sort of compete with one another and to size each other up and to kind of automatically like or dislike a person based on where they fall in comparison to us on the attractiveness scale. And I've definitely gotten answers from female students about that they feel some sort of competition. Of course, not every woman feels that way, but I do think that's really alive and well on our campus. That being said, I also think it's important to just mention that for men, body image issues exist as well. I did a presentation recently where I found pictures in the media and showed a clip from a film that is called America the Beautiful, which you should definitely check out. It's a documentary. But the images that I showed, you know, I was just searching Google image for women and men, and what I could find was that for women, you know, they see sort of two images. They get the really wafy, thin model image, and then they get the Kim Kardashian, really curvy but still thin image. And those are the two things that it's sort of okay to be. For men, what they're really shown is six-pack and ripped out muscular physiques. Like, that's what it's okay for them to be. In terms of male models, male athletes, like, this is the idealized male body. And that's a really, really hard image to live up to also. And we might think, oh, it's only women that are airbrushed. No, that's absolutely not true. You know, male celebrities are airbrushed in ads. You know, male models are airbrushed, absolutely. And so I just don't think there's as much of a focus on it. And then when searching for real women and real men just on the internet, there are campaigns that reach out to women and say, you know, real beauty is what you have and that's what's attractive. And like the Dove campaigns that have those things. Although I do find it very interesting that they have real women in their underwear up on a billboard and they're selling thigh firming cream. So that's their own interesting mixed message. But there are campaigns that are dedicated to sort of showing women as they are and speaking to the masses in a much more relatable way. And then if you look for that kind of stuff for men, it's just not really, it's really not out there. They don't get sold that. But I think also a lot of times women are used to sell men's products as well. So, so men do have to struggle with this as well. It's just a little bit opposite. You know, generally it's men struggling to get really big and muscular and women struggling to get smaller and really, really petite. But it's not always that way. But that's just kind of what the sort of two stereotypes are. And so men suffer as well. I haven't done as much work around talking about that with them, but it's definitely very different based on gender in terms of what you're told to look like and in terms of, I think that the extremes that people go to. And also, I don't know, I think on some level, the idea of women constantly struggling to look a certain way, I think it's pretty age old. And I also think, and this is my incredibly third wave feminist mindset coming across, but I do think that in some ways it's almost a form of distraction. It's a form of making sure that women are really very busy doing things that work on themselves physically, plastic surgery and diets and lots of time at the gym and personal trainers and all this kind of stuff, because they're really, really busy doing that. And they're really wrapped up in how their attractiveness affects their self-esteem. And how if they don't feel attractive, then they don't have as much sense of self-worth and how that infiltrates other areas of their life. Like, if that's really going on, then they're not reaching as much full potential as they have. Patriarchal structure that exists that creates this world where women are really obsessed with how they look, and I think that just it infiltrates lots of other areas of their life. Like, even if you look at women in power and look at women in politics, let's take for example the 2008 election where we had Hillary Clinton and Sarah Palin on opposite sides. What is the first thing that people talk about when they come to these two women? Looks and sexiness. And they portray Sarah Palin as sexy soccer mom. She's attractive. Men in America would have sex with this woman, right? This is what they're talking about. They're not talking about education and views. A lot of the time, it's really about looks. Hillary Clinton was seen as masculine and a ball buster and mannish and someone that men would fear in some kind of way. So, but it was looked at like, oh, she wears pantsuits and she has a short haircut, and Sarah Palin wears skirts and she's got the poof, right? Like, and the librarian glasses. This is what we look at when we look at women in power. It's really ingrained, and it's really frustrating because there's just so much focus on looks, where I really don't think that anybody was talking about how attractive is John McCain, how attractive is Barack Obama. I don't think people were talking about that in the same way at all.